Welcome to the Guest House Show here at CAN TV. My name is Art Sims. I am Community Outreach Manager at Guest House, and I'm your host for tonight's show. We have another exciting show planned for your viewing pleasure, and we thank you guys for joining us again. Since 1999, the Guest House has provided affordable and comfortable temporary housing for medical patients and their families in need right here in the medical district. As a registered 501c3 organization, the IMD Guest House Foundation accommodates medical patients, their family members, and military veterans who are in Chicago for treatment. Our facility is conveniently located on the campus of UIC at the corner of Polk and Damon, and we welcome patients of all ages and all diagnoses. For more information about Guest House, you can find us right at the bottom of the screen. February is Black History Month. February is also National HIV and AIDS Awareness Day, which just took place on the 7th. This coming Saturday is Valentine's Day, and it is also Heart Health Awareness Month. My guest this evening is someone who is the epitome of everything that I described. As you guys saw at the beginning of the show, it was all about love, and it's always been. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome with me this evening Gina Evans, who is a public health expert, and she's a national speaker, the owner of Monday Night Mingle, and a published author. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Gina Lamar. What's up?
And the crowd goes wild.
Yes, they do.
Only I'm the crowd. That's it. I'm just the crowd. No, thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure. On behalf of Guest House, it's an honor to have you here.
I am so excited to be here, too, because I know about Guest House.
Good.
And it's one of those good things that a lot of people don't know about. So I'm always excited that you all are still out there for years.
Yes, we
sharing
have.
the good information.
Absolutely.
And talking about things that really matter.
Wonderful. And we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to be here so that we're able to educate and inform our audience and to build a more cohesive alliance among ourselves in the healthcare field.
Yes.
And so I want to talk a little bit about what is your background and how did you get started in this field?
So, you know the quick and dirty line. My name is Gina Lamar, and I talk about sex for a living. Because as an HIV training specialist and working in the field, it's still the main mode of transmission.
Correct.
While cases are down, while we have far fewer cases than we had when I started in this field 30 years ago, it's still prevalent.
Okay.
There's still something to be said, right? So in the last couple of years, we just had about 800 new cases in the state of Illinois, which is very low. And people say, oh, someone said to me once, oh, is HIV still a thing? And I said, well, I'm glad you feel that way. In case you become exposed, you won't panic.
Which
They
is
said,
true.
well, wait a minute.
Right.
That's not what I meant. I said, then don't you ever poo-poo on someone's life and their health, right?
Correct.
So that's the reason that we still are talking about it. I'm still saying the same thing, right? Protect yourself, wrap it up. And now I'm saying prep yourself, right?
Okay.
So,
all right. I want to talk about that before we end the show as well, too. I want to go back just a little bit. You had started off by saying over 30 years ago, the numbers were astronomical. I remember myself being a lifelong Chicagoan, also traveling globally. I would see so many people that I know that HIV and AIDS just obliterated communities and groups and friends and things like that. And so I want to find out, where are we like now? How real are we with, I'm so happy to hear only 800 cases. 800 new cases. So
right.
Is it because of new medicine, new ways of doing
Technology, we now have a way to, and advances in science, right? The advancements in science. And I'll never forget 30 years ago, maybe it was 1999, what's that, 27 years ago. I remember a patient saying, I didn't take my medicine because I drank last night. And I remember the doctor saying, wash it down with the drink. Wash it down with the tequila. And I thought, You can't say that. But that's how much she understood. If we can get these medicines in you, you will live.
Right.
And that's all I care about. I don't want you finding a reason. I don't want you doing this. We take it out of the pill packs for you, all of that, right? So when I say 30 years ago, you mentioned Monday Night Mingle, which is what we do. We talk about it, right? But then Nephew's Case Management is my health services case management agency where we provide home services and case management services for people living with HIV. And I will say all the time, 30 years ago when I first started in this field, we had a 72-hour window. If you got referred to us, a guest house, you have to do orientation.
Right.
We had a 72-hour window that we had to get all of your information, get out to your home, see you, and get your services started. Because if you waited 2 weeks, I could be calling your family and they're saying, my loved one died. Why are you calling me? You didn't know this?
Wow.
Because that's how rapidly people were dying. And when people got, infected and with AIDS diagnoses, right? So then, we know the difference. People can be HIV positive and then there's an AIDS diagnosis. There is no such thing as full-blown AIDS. It's just an AIDS diagnosis.
Really?
I don't know where we came
So I
up
was
with
going to
it.
say, how did that even come about? Because that was,
it's the same way everything comes about. One person said it wrong the wrong time ago, and people still hold on to it. Right? But now we have the ability that you can be on your meds, you can be positive, and you can actually never get an AIDS diagnosis.
So when we hear the term undetectable, what does that mean? What does undetectable mean?
It means, and this is the time where we both have our red shirts on, this is the time where I would have had some red Kool-Aid, and then I can pour in. And so it's really simple. The more you take your meds, the more it suppresses the virus, and it's less likely that you can pass the virus. We have 0 transmissions of people who have been taking their meds, and we can show that they're taking their meds correctly and regularly that have passed the virus. So that's what undetectable means. It means that we can't see it. It's not going to flag and or show above a particular number in your body. So we still have to do labs regularly, right, to see whether or not you're taking your meds. One of the biggest things I stay in trouble with, I'm not in trouble with, clients stay in trouble with me about is because we do home services, right? And if I talk to your provider and I get some labs and I go, oh, wait a minute, why are these labs this way? You must not be taking your meds, because we now know that medication will keep you virologically suppressed and make it virtually impossible for you to spread the virus. I always like to remind myself, even though I don't care what science says, nothing is 100% nothing.
So that's another thing that I want to talk about with Valentine's Day being just a few days away. Those babies that are made in February will be born in October, November. Let's talk about safe sex practices. And how are our other numbers looking? Other sexually transmitted diseases?
All right, so that's what I always, when I say about PrEP, right? I always remind people, PrEP stops the transmission of HIV.
Okay.
I got nothing for the gonorrhea, chlamydia, and syphilis right now.
Okay.
I got nothing. Now we do have doxy-PEP.
Okay.
So PrEP is what you take before. It's like taking my birth control pill, right?
Okay.
And then the Plan B pill is what I take, and PEP is what I take after. So if I don't take my pill.
So doxy-PrEP, which is
doxy-PEP.
Doxy-PEP.
That's post-exposure.
Oh, okay.
So that's going to take care of that gonorrhea and chlamydia.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
That's the PEP.
Okay.
So real simple.
Okay.
You and I are going on a date. I'm on PrEP. We have unprotected sex, or we have sex and the condom breaks, whatever the case may be. The next day, if I'm on PrEP, all I have to worry about is getting pregnant. I mean, not me at 58, but still.
Oh, okay.
All I have to worry about is getting pregnant, right?
Yes.
So I take the Plan B pill.
Okay.
So now we have the Plan B pill for pregnancy, and we have doxy-PEP for post-exposure.
Oh,
I always
really?
like to say one of my favorite songs, Carrie Underwood, I don't even know my last name. My mama would be so ashamed.
Right.
Because she's in Vegas.
Right.
And you know what happens in Vegas.
Stays in Vegas.
Started out, hey, cutie, where you from? You know, and you woke up with somebody like, wait a minute, we're married? What's your name, sir, so I can know my last name? So that's what doxy-PEP is. That's what PEP, that's the post-exposure. PrEP is the pre-exposure.
Okay, so now how do we talk people into getting medication or taking medication? And the only reason why I say this, it used to be a time where it was a younger demographic that was, sexually transmitted diseases and things like that. But now recent studies have shown that it's senior communities, that it's those that might be living, an alternative lifestyle and not being honest about it. So how do we inform people that it is important that they not, or they get on the proper meds?
So my quick and dirty for the senior people, right? Oh, all these seniors now are passing HIV and getting HIV. No. What's happening is that people are living long, healthy lives. Mm-hmm. And so the senior buildings are filled with people with HIV. Yes, because they're now living.
Okay.
Like I say, 30 years ago, I had to get to your house in 72 hours.
Correct.
Because we didn't know if you'd still be here.
Right.
Now, you're going to be here. You're going to age. You're going to get the comorbidities. I tell people all the time, if I test you, now you die from whatever your grandmama died from. What's in your family?
Right.
What's in your family? Sugar, heart disease is mine.
Yes, so diabetes,
whatever it is.
Correct.
Whatever happens in your family, right? If you take these meds, HIV definitely is still an issue.
Correct.
There is no cure. I say that when people say Magic Johnson is cured, and I say, please do not have unprotected sex with Magic Johnson if he hasn't been taking his meds. Don't do it because he's a married man. That's the first thing.
Correct. Well, for those of you that thank you so much. For those of you that are just joining us, you're watching the Guest House show. That is a monthly show that airs here at CAN TV. We're really appreciative of CAN TV for this opportunity. Guest House is 54 fully furnished apartments that is temporary medical lodging located in the medical district. You must be referred by one of our partnering hospitals to be able to stay with us. And we just want to let everybody know, if you want more information, our website is located at the bottom of the screen. We're currently talking to Gina Lamar, who she is a public health expert, and we're talking about this coming Saturday being Valentine's Day. We want to wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day. Also, it is Heart Health Month, and I want to talk a little bit about that before we leave as well, too.
Broken heart.
But we're also talking about National Black HIV Awareness Day, which was on the 7th of February.
Correct.
And so we're just having a very open and honest conversation about how things have changed over the years. Gina let us know early in this conversation that 30 years ago, HIV was a death sentence, and now today it's all about living.
Yes.
And I am so glad to hear about that. And, let's talk about heart health a little bit, if we could. I know that's not your specialty, but
no, it's definitely my specialty because you break my heart, and
but now
love.
Let's look at other health issues and taking maybe the PrEP and Doxy. Does that affect any of my other health issues?
So what I always want to remind people is, one, I'm not a doctor and I don't play one on Tuesdays.
Correct, right.
But I do tell people for anything, if you take an aspirin, there is a 10-page, 1 millimeter, centimeter font of something that gives you that warns you of everything, right? So being on any medication for 30 years tends to give you, there's something that happens with your liver. Something's happening, right?
Yeah.
Any medication, if you're taking the same thing for 30 years. With the heart health, though, it's still all the time. I recently said this. We were doing this panel on World AIDS Day.
Correct.
And my doctor happened to be on the panel with me. And I said, if I get HIV, you all say promiscuous Gina. If I get breast cancer, you say poor Gina. No one ever says you should stop that high fatty diet, Gina. That's where that heart disease and that breast cancer comes from. And I love it. My doc happened to be sitting there. She goes, no, I say that. I say that to her all the time, right? And we're laughing because you do say it. We don't pay attention to all the fried foods and all the processed foods that we eat that tends to, and the lack of exercise. Regina Benjamin was the Surgeon General years ago, and she said, the death of black women from heart disease is going to be our hair. We don't want to exercise. We don't want to swim. We don't want to sweat out our hair.
Okay.
She said, just walk. If you
Right.
just walk every single day and make that part of your thing. You know, you see your seniors out there walking, like, girl, it's 30
Correct.
degrees out there.
Yes.
They're walking every day. So those are the things that we're talking heart health that we have to make sure that we're looking at.
And it also includes a balanced diet. We've talked a lot about the Mediterranean diets and how
Yes.
important that is to make sure you're eating healthy fats, fruits, vegetables. Make sure you're getting a well-balanced meal in every day. And then we cannot encourage you enough to schedule appointments to go and see your doctors.
provider.
Whether you're male,
Yes.
female, whatever the case
Positive,
may be.
negative.
That's right.
HIV positive or HIV possible.
Right.
So this is the other part with that. I always tell people, when do you get your checkups?
Every year.
Okay, but when? In every year.
Oh, that's interesting. See, I actually go twice a year.
So for me,
I go
I
twice a
always
year.
tell people do
Yes.
it in January,
Right.
start at the beginning of the year,
Yes.
or do it on your birthday.
Right, which
So
is
for
true.
my birthday
Yes.
is when I tell people all the time, you know, oh, I'll make that appointment. Do it around a time that triggers and reminds you every single year.
Yes.
Your mammogram in March mammogram. We do mimosas and mammograms, right? We just want you to make sure that you do it. So whatever time it is, if it's January, start the year off with your blood work because we
Okay.
get busy at Christmas. At Thanksgiving, we have to have these conversations due to diabetes, and I always have
High cholesterol.
yes,
yes.
and I
all
always
that.
have a
Right.
nutritionist on or a
Yes.
provider on who's
Right.
a diabetes specialist. But the other part of that is, don't talk to me about using apples versus apple. You know what I mean? Versus
Right.
my sweet potato pie.
Right, because you're going to want that sweet potato pie. Right.
Please stop talking
So-
to me about raw cane sugar when
Right.
I'm in the middle of trying to enjoy. Finally, once a year, I get some good dressing.
Okay, that makes sense.
But let me
It
just
really
go back to
does.
this very quickly as we talk about National Black HIV Awareness Day, which is every February 7th.
Correct.
And so it's just the day that we're supposed to be on top of things, right? But it's just like Black History. We Black 365. We're at risk for HIV 365. So while we have something every single month, there's something that always comes up. February 7th is National Black HIV Awareness Day. We're talking Valentine's Day next Saturday, which technically kicks off Condom Week, which I always remind people, it should probably start on February 7th.
Right.
It should start the week before.
Yes.
Don't wait till Valentine's Day.
No.
You know why?
Why?
Because you have somebody you see on the 12th, then you see somebody on the 13th, then you're with your real partner on the 14th, and then you know the thing. If you get seen on the 15th, you know you the side piece. But I always try to remind people, we need that whole week for us to be having this conversation.
We do. That's
That
that's very
whole
powerful.
week as we're
It's
talking
powerful.
about
It
that
is.
with,
Right.
with love.
Yes.
And I just always, while I have fun talking about it and try to make light of it, it's still something that's easily preventable.
Yes, it is.
And people always want to call me because I have access to certain information. I don't know why they think I have a crystal ball of everybody's status, but they're like, I met this guy, and I said the first line of defense in updating your status is knowing your own status.
Which is most important. And we do want to remind everyone, get real, learn the information,
Yes.
be honest with yourself as well as your partner or partners, because Gina just lined us up
I'm
from
just
the,
saying.
you lined us up
from the 12th to the 15th.
from the 12th to the
From
15th.
the 12th to the 15th.
Boy, somebody, I mean,
And
that,
somebody said, well, the 12th, that's really pushing. I said, that's somebody they're grooming, trying to get to.
to hang out with before the,
After.
Okay.
After.
Get
Trying to get you
informed. We hope that you have been informed by this conversation.
Yes.
It is important to know the highs and lows of being adults and doing adult things. So that works as well too.
Well, can I just go
And
back
then-
since you say adults?
Yes.
People hate to hear this, but in the state of Illinois, at the age of 12, your son or daughter has access to reproductive rights. They have access to birth control. They have access to a medical appointment with or without you. They have access to PrEP. They have access to condoms. They have access to an abortion with or without your parental consent. So people don't like to hear it. Nobody wants to think about it with their child. But why do you think we make it that young? Because people will just go and hide, and we don't catch things early enough, being afraid of their parents who said, if you do this, I'll kill you, right? I'll
is true.
kill you if you do
Which
that.
is true.
No one ever kills their children
Right.
for those things, right?
Correct.
We just don't have that. But I will say to you, what I do like about these kinds of conversations and the guest house brings them to the forefront is that they recognize everybody. Everybody is possible. It's a conversation that needs to be had, and it's a conversation that Can TV is letting us talk about today.
And we really appreciate that. We do.
that.
For those of you that are watching us, again, this is the Guest House Show. We're here monthly. I am your host, Art Sims, Community Outreach Manager at the Guest House. And we're just trying to have an open and honest dialogue about things that affect the people in the world in which we live in. The more informed you are, the better it will be.
Yes.
Just a reminder again that Guest House is temporary medical lodging located over in the medical district. We're referral based, so you do have to be referred by one of our partnering hospitals. And again, for more information, it's always at the bottom of the screen. So I want to talk real quick about our upcoming fundraiser. We want to tell everyone to please save the date for Monday, April 27, 2026. It's the House Always Wins 26. We're going back to one of our favorite places, Carnival Restaurant, which is located in the Swank Fulton Market District. We are looking for those that want to help support Guest House. We do amazing work at Guest House. You can follow us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram. Guest House Chicago is how you do that. Gina, before we close out this conversation, I would love for you to talk about how people can continue to follow you and support your mission as well.
Well, thank you so much. GinaLamar.com, GinaLamar.com. Monday Night Mingle, all spelled correctly. Those are the ways that you can follow me on social media, and you can find us talking about it, once a month, every month. We have candid community conversations that we do different topics every month on the first Wednesday of the month. And thank you so much. Have me back. We can talk about this again.
This was a very powerful conversation. I think not only will it help, I had mentioned older people, but you're right. I didn't realize the 12-year-old thing.
Yes.
So that's very powerful information to know
Yes.
as well. Gina, before we go, and with Valentine's being this coming Saturday, is there any advice you'd give to the lovelorn that's looking for somebody? So many people nowadays are looking to be with somebody, be in a relationship,
Yes.
and we're living in just such what I consider a congested world right now. What advice would you give someone?
I really do say just take time. If you see something, if you like it, or see someone that you like, just be honest about it and say it, right? Share it, but then do not ignore your own red flags.
Which is true.
Don't ignore your red flags. We see it all the time, and we go, how did you miss that, Gina? How did you miss that, Gina? I always blame my best friends. Like, you all knew that person wasn't right for me. They were like, yeah, we couldn't tell you then, though. So I just say, listen to yourself.
And that's a matter of the heart.
Absolutely.
It's a matter of the heart. That is so interesting.
And that heart disease. And you know what else that the matter of the heart does also? Cortisol, you get the butterflies, right?
Correct.
And then you also have to pay attention when you get the butterflies about something they said. Oh, hey, baby, I've got to work on the 14th. Let's get together on the 12th.
Okay.
I'll see you on the 15th.
Makes sense.
Doesn't feel right here in your gut or your heart. Listen to it.
You heard it right here from the lady. You heard it, you guys. We want to thank you guys so very much for joining us this evening. Again, we want to wish you a happy Black History Month. We also want to remember and commemorate the fact that February 7th is Black HIV Awareness Day. This coming Saturday, Valentine's Day, all about love.
I even know how to make the hearts.
And all of that great stuff. And it's Heart Health Awareness Month. I cannot encourage you ladies and men enough to schedule those appointments. Make sure you take care of yourself. And until next time, we'll be back next month. GuestHouseChicago.org is our website. Please follow us on all of our social pages. Be well, good night, and thank you so much for watching the Guest House Show.